Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. We will from group 3 and we will present about the representation of Indonesian cultural diversity in middle school English textbooks by Firman Perlindungan, Irfan Rifai, and Afida Safriani. And I am Amalia Fitriani and my ID number is 18 21 22 040 and I will be the first presenter. In Indonesia, exposure to the English language is primarily mediated through the use of English textbooks. What cultural knowledge and whose culture are represented in these textbooks become a critical issue because culture interweaves both language and thought. The researchers argue that diversity and multicultural perspectives represented in these textbooks are the core of English language learning and teaching. They also contend that language textbooks play a pivotal role in the acquisitions both linguistics and cultural knowledge of English. In 2016, Widodo maintains that a textbook is one of the curriculum materials with prescribed competencies and procedures which mediates language learning. The fundamental to this discussion is how textbooks shape the practice of ELT at the micro level of classroom and inherently determine whose culture is valued and learned through texts that serve as a curriculum artifact that facilitates language learning. That's in 2008 divided three categories of ELT textbook. First is imported, second is in-country, and the last is regional textbooks. Within the context of Indonesia, most of the imported textbooks, which mostly refer to global coursebooks, widely used at a university level due to the teacher trust in English, accuracy in internationally published coursebook, and autonomy in textbooks selection. So, the aim of this study is to investigate the representation of Indonesian cultural diversity within the in-country textbook called When English Rings a Bell for secondary education, specifically geared for 7th and 8th grades. The fact that Indonesia is diverse in multiple ways, including language, ethnicity, tradition, and religion, to name a few, validates the rationale for this study to critically examine how the cultural diversity is addressed and represented in the English textbook. Practically, the analysis of both textual and visual narratives from the textbooks can inform the teachers, researchers, and policymakers to assess whether the textbooks promote cultural inclusiveness and canalize meaning for ELT teaching, or leave biases, stereotypes, and prejudice. The next presenter will be delivered by my friend Alifa Padlila Lutfia.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, my name is Alifa Fadila Lutfia from class BGIMD, and today I'm going to tell you about the journal, and the title is The Representation of Indonesian Cultural Diversity in Middle School English Textbook. But I'm not going to tell you the whole journal. I'm just going to tell you about linguistic and cultural diversity in Indonesia according to my understanding. As we know, Indonesia is a very broad country. Indonesia has more than 17,000 pulau or island. Also Indonesia juga punya 33 provinsi dan pastinya itu bakal bikin Indonesia sangat diverse. According to Marcelino and Widodo, Indonesia has more than 700 of local vernacular exists with a range of various dialects from different ethnic and groups. And also, according to Widodo and Fardani, group language use in Indonesia dibagi menjadi three main category. The first is a national lingua franca atau bahasa nasional. The second is majority indigenous language, and the third in minority indigenous language. Kalau bahasa lingua franca itu seperti kita ketahui bahasa sehari-hari, bahasa nasional ya. Kalau bahasa mayoritas itu ya bahasa yang contohnya bahasa Sundanese sama Minangkabau, Javanese, terus bahasa minoritas lah Alas sama Luwu. According to Widodo in 2016, reported that majority indigenous language are the language of which the number of speakers exists 1 million, and minority indigenous language are view of those spoken. Jadi penuturnya itu 200.000 orang kalau misalkan bahasa minority. sorry. Ya, karena bangsa Indonesia memiliki budaya dan bahasa yang sangat banyak. That's why this journal is will examine atau bakal menggali bagaimana sih budaya lokal Indonesia itu diterapkan di textbook bahasa Inggris atau direpresentasikan dalam buku teks bahasa Inggris. Budaya apa yang ditampilkan dengan mempertimbangkan keragaman budaya Indonesia. Nah, kata according to Sparley in 1980, construct of culture embrace 3 fundamental component of human life. Yang pertama itu cultural behavior. Kalau cultural behavior itu kayak what people do. Kalau cultural knowledge itu what people know. Kalau cultural artifact itu what people make and use. As extension of the real world, textbook as a classroom entity should be closely related to cultural aspect of people, particularly for language teaching because culture and language are entangled. Ya, karena jadi buku bahasa Inggris itu harus banyak memasukkan unsur budaya. Kenapa? Karena budaya dan bahasa itu berhubungan gitu. And also, the role of English material gains prominence in socializing cultural elements embedded in the target language. Selanjutnya, jadi juga ada beberapa studi tentang cultural representation di English textbook. Yang pertama ini dari Chinese, researchernya Ali Akbari and Jama Faldi reported that the textbook highlighted a target culture in greater amount than the local culture. Jadi kalau jadi lebih banyak bahasa target culture-nya gitu, mungkin bahasa sih budaya sana gitu dibanding budaya Chinese-nya sendiri. Terus juga kata Tajudin and Taimur susah banget. Taimur Nejhard 2015 compared localized and international English textbook used in many language content in Iran. Yeah, they uncovered the absence of the source of cultural representation. Jadi karena sedikit gitu referensi budaya Irannya itu. Terus kata Song 2013 also examine the pattern of cultural representation embedded in Korean EFL textbook. Jadi kalau di Korean itu kurang adanya budaya Korea juga. And they found out kayak ada gender inequality, racism, terus banyak yang bilang kayak dan lain-lain gitu. Jadi ada beberapa kesalahan dalam textbooknya. Terus kalau kata Sus in 2016, a study examining Taiwan EFL textbook positioned American English as culture as the only acceptable standard form of English. Ini parah banget sih. I mean like menurut aku itu parah gitu. And Widodo in 2018, current research has explored the incorporation of moral value into existing Indonesian English textbook, particularly for grade 10. Jadi mungkin ini nih di Indonesia ini sendiri itu udah bilang katanya udah mulai menggabungkan nilai-nilai moral ke dalam buku textbook. Jadi udah mulai ada budaya lokalnya udah masuk juga. Terus karena Indonesia itu seperti kita ketahui menonjolkan pendidikan berkarakter, jadi itu juga ada. Dan si budayanya itu tuh termaktub kayak dalam cerita-cerita, dongeng-dongeng, terus dalam gambar, grafik, dan lain-lain. Nah, it is really important for us to know representasi budaya bahasa. Budaya dalam buku teks bahasa Inggris gitu. Karena Indonesia itu luas, jadi kita perlu tahu budaya mana sih yang direpresentasikan dengan mempertimbangkan banyak hal, dalam mempertimbangkan budaya lain. Karena textbook ini kan yang kita gunakan ini nasional gitu. Jadi jurnal ini tuh will examine tadi the representation of Indonesian cultural diversity in English textbook. The next presenter will be presented by Rizka. I think that's all from me. I'm sorry for my mistake. See you in the next presentation. Bye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Rizka Maya Fevranti. My ID number is 1821222049.
I'm the third presenter of this group, so I would like to present about method used to analyze Indonesian culture representation in English textbooks. The researchers attempt to analyze 2 English textbooks for 7th and 8th grade that published by Ministry of Education and Culture in 2014, entitled Bahasa Inggris When English Rings a Bell, that has a purpose to be main resources of materials for teachers and students. Because of the 2013 curriculum, English curriculum, those textbooks emphasizes local culture. So, the researchers choose that book to be analyzed, the cultural representation. Before analyzing, we have to know that the crucial parts of textbooks are images, characters descriptions, cultural value, behaviors, and artifacts, as those convey multiple interpretations. So, the researchers use Kress and Van Leeuwen's semiotic approach to analyze the images and characters development. And then, as suggested by Wininger and Kiss in 2013, that in analyzing textbooks, we have to know the complex process of meaning making mediated through visual and textual. So, meaning is socially made from teachers, students, and materials interactions. So they suggest that we have to treat text, images, and tasks together because they can show the cultural messages. Therefore, in analyzing the meaning of text, images, and tasks, the researcher also used 3 fundamental components of human life by Spradley in 1980, such as the first, culture, behavior. It is about what people do, and then cultural knowledge is what people know, and the last is cultural artifacts. It is what things people use and make. The researchers use 5 presentation analytical perspective by Kress and Van Leeuwen in 2006 to help analyze what the images and characters are representing, such as focalization. Focalization can be simply known as point of view or perspective of mode, like who tells the story, or from whose perspective or from whose point of view the story is told or created. And then affect. Affect is considering characters' emotion. So, in affect, we look at how characters' emotions are presented through facial features and bodily stances. And then the third is pathos. Pathos is to analyze how realistically the character's body or face in the picture that are depicted like that. And the fourth is ambience. Ambience is to analyze the use of colors in the image. It reflects the color effect in the image. And then the last is graduation. Graduation is to analyze evaluative meaning of text, images, and their description. Thank you very much for your attention, and the result or the finding of using this method will be delivered by the next presenter. Thank you.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. My name is Nuraiza Permata Soleha. Here I would like to explain about representation of characters as cultural agents. So here. The aims of this textbook's analysis were to investigate the representation of Indonesian local cultures in the two middle school English textbooks. In this analysis, the researchers semiotically examined whose cultures are represented and how such cultures are portrayed in the two textbooks. The units of the analysis were verbal text, image, and tasks, which reflect Indonesian local cultures. The findings of the study were organized into four main themes: characters as cultural agents, and cultural behavior, and then cultural knowledge, and the last, cultural artifacts. However, in this presentation, I would like to focus on the first point related to characters as cultural agents. The rest of them will be presented by my friends. Okay, here there are 6 characters represented in this English textbook, such as Udin, Benny, Edo, Siti, Dayu, and Lina. These characters depicted the diversity of Indonesian cultures. The characters of the two textbooks depict the indigenous people of Indonesia as described by the skin color, hairstyles, names of the characters, religion, and geographical consideration. For example, Edo represents Papuan boys, where the majority of the people has darker skin color with curly hair and is Christian. Compared to Edo, Udin has brighter skin color, represented Muslim boys from the western part of Indonesia, where the majority is Muslim and have typical straight hair. And then, okay. Here, Udin represent Muslim boys from Sumatra, Java, Kalimantan, Sulawesi, and Nusa Tenggara Barat. His physical appearance is illustrated with eyeglasses in the 7th grade textbook, and curly hair and tanned brown skin. Stereotyping people wearing glasses may influence either the 7th or the 8th grade textbook's illustrator when adding or omitting the glasses from the Udin character. We argue that the difference in the representation of Udin reveals gaps in the composition process of the books. Wallace and friends. Noun book illustrator suggests that both writers and illustrators need to work together during the creative process to avoiding a misinterpretation of the descriptive narrative, which the writer expects the reader to see. And then here Benny. The second is the character of Benny, who represents Christian boys from eastern parts of Indonesia, as well as Chinese descendants. Benny has straight hair and light skin. And then another male character is Edo, who has dark brown skin and curly hair, and he is representation of Papuans. And Siti represents Muslim girls from over Indonesia who dress in Islamic way. And then Dayu. Dayu is a Hindu girl from Bali wearing a headband. This character represents the girls in Bali. Okay. Here, Lina. Lina represents the Chinese descendant from Medan with a bow ribbon and her hair. Okay. These depictions might not be appropriate to better represent cultural diversity of Indonesia because it might lead to possible stereotypes of either majority or minority groups. Perlindungan et al. 2018. Maybe that is from me. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, I'm Rani Andriani. I'm from class B GIMD class, and here I would like to continue the presentations from the article with the title The Representations of Indonesian Cultural Diversity in Middle School English Textbooks. And this is my turn to explain the chapter The Portrayal of Cultural Knowledge. So here are the chapters or the contents that I will try to explain. The first is chapter overview, the second is chapter in particular, and the third is conclusion. Okay, so the first one is about chapter overview. In this chapter, the author the author reporting what they already found from the textbooks that they already analyzed, and it regarding to the recognition of national and cultural knowledge. So in this chapter we will focus on the topic about cultural knowledge and nationality. Okay, so the next one is chapter in particular. These textbooks is engage the students to knowing and discussing about Indonesia's national days, and then geography and miscellaneous roles. But actually, this textbooks is separated. The chapters or the topic into two chapters. The first one is 7th grade textbooks, and then the second for 8th grade textbooks, and the third is provide information about roles in society. The first one is in 7th grade textbooks. So in this textbooks or in this chapter books, we will find that it is talking about national holidays and heroes. The first thing that students will face is they will discussing about the national days, like the date or the month of the national days, and then they will fill in the blank. So they have an assignment to fill in the blank the question. And then the second is 8th grade textbooks. So in this chapter of textbooks, there is a chapter with the title I'm Proud of Indonesia. From this title, we know that this chapter will talking about nationalism, and then how to build or how to enhance students' awareness about cultural and then nationality, about cultural knowledge. And it has an aim specifically to engage students with national and cultural knowledge. And then the third is provide information about roles in society. So both of those textbooks, that is 7th grade textbooks and then 8th grade textbooks, is provide another informations that like related to the society, such as the sign of traffic sign, and then any signs that always appears in public facilities like mosque and then school, like that. And now we are going to the conclusion. So based on the explanations before, we have 3 pieces of information related to the people now constructed in from the board of the textbooks. The first one is about Indonesia's national days, and then geography and miscellaneous rules. we have to know that each information and then each topic in the textbooks is described explicitly and depicted by using text and images for increase or build students' pride of the nation and then students' awareness of cultural representation when learning English. Okay, I think that's all from me, and thank you for your kind attention. I'm sorry if there are so many mistakes that I've done, and see you in the next video. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Intan Anzila. My ID number is 18 21 22 or 39. I'm the last presenter, and I would like to explain about the representation of cultural artifacts and conclusion. Indonesia has more than 300 ethnic groups, and each has its own unique cultural artifacts. We found that there are at least 4 ethnic groups explicitly presented in the 8th grade textbook. The 4 ethnic groups represented are from Bali Island, Padang or West Sumatra, Papua, and Java. Figure 12 confirms our finding that only artifacts of dominant ethnic groups are salient in the 2 textbooks. The picture shows for restaurants that are affiliated to local cultural heritage that represent Padang, Sunda, Manado, and Makassar with their unique ethnic buildings. According to Forshi 2006, Indonesian houses have specific meanings. The specification of their construction, design, accompanying rituals, building materials, divisions, and location demand careful attention to adat or customary law, and then ancestral protocol and local beliefs in spirit. For example, the Minangkabau House and the restaurant or Rumah Makan Padang. The Minangkabau House has a philosophical name like the Whining Water Buffalo, and the restaurant Rumah Makan Padang can be easily found across Indonesia, and students might also be familiar with the food served. However, that makes those dominant cultural artifacts included is still unclear. Other cultural artifacts portrayed in the textbook include angklung, or traditional musical instrument from West Java, and batik, traditional fabric which has been widely recognized as a national identity, ulos, traditional fabric from North Sumatra, noken, traditional bag from Papua, payung gelis, traditional umbrella for West Java, rencong, traditional blade from Aceh, wayang, traditional puppet from Java, and some traditional foods like lemper, sate, pempek, and kerupuk. Since cultural artifacts exhibit the beauty, uniqueness, and complexity of a society, each of them defines social and cultural meanings. Indonesian textiles such as ulos of North Sumatra mark social importance and relationship to the supernatural. These show status markers of the owner in all rituals exchange between families, indicators of ethnic identity and in need of everyday life. And according to Forshi 2006, that some parts of Indonesia have their own unique patterns which are closely related to their local wisdom. In the 8th textbook, Dayu is involved in a conversation with Lina describing Mrs. Herlina. Dayu says Mrs. Herlina who is wearing batik and black pants, but then Lina responded that all of the ladies in that context are wearing batik and black pants. Dayu gives Lina other description of Mrs. Herlina that make Lina recognize which one is Mrs. Herlina. Page 141. And then this conversation is about describing people by mentioning batik as a common uniform which Indonesia people wear. Though no cultural meanings are encapsulated in the conversation between Dayu and Lina, it seems that the target audiences are expected to recognize batik as part of the Indonesian cultural artifacts. Another aspect about batik indicates that Indonesian people wear batik as a casual or semi-formal style. Siti says, you can wear a batik shirt or a formal shirt, but please don't wear t-shirt. In page 48, this comparison between batik formal shirt and t-shirt might suggest target audiences of when to wear batik. The central argument is that diversity and multicultural perspective represented in textbook are crucial to English language learning and teaching. The teaching of English in any context reflects teaching both linguistic and cultural knowledge of English that potentially infuse different belief systems associated with countries where English is used. Using a semiotic approach that focuses on the textual and visual narratives of the text, images, and tasks, we are able to discover important aspects of human life that represent culture, such as characters, cultural behavior, cultural knowledge, and cultural artifacts.